Alright everybody, I'm here to give you my Breaking Bad review that I make every single Wednesday. And you can check out all the other ones on this channel. This is Season 2, Episode 2. Yeah, that's right. And then this episode came out on March 15th, 2009. It actually came out on my birthday, which is actually pretty special. I was turning 13 when this episode came out, so I think that's a pretty special thing. So, happy birthday to me, right? Starts out before the theme song. It shows like Jesse's car's like totaled. It's ruined, um, and there's like a bunch of stuff just laid out and broken, like a rattle. I think I saw, and beer and stuff. Thought it was pretty decent stuff. And then it goes to the theme song. It cuts right back, and I think Hank goes with the DEA guys, and they talk about Tuco, because that's their next victim they're looking for. Talk about how he killed off Goose. Goose. Let me think. Let me look. See if I can look it up. Yeah, it doesn't even. But yeah, it's Tuco. And they find out all. They give him all information: how he stabbed people, how he took out his two guys. One of them he and his brother-in-law. I think it was Guso. I don't remember his name. Talks about how he's stabbed people before. How they found his lab, his not really, but his infiltration, and how they think and how Goose or Guko, I forget his name, was dead. Died from helping out the other guy, and Hank was like, "Hey, you can check that on my website. It's pretty funny stuff." And they think that he was the one that killed Crazy Eight, so then they give like like a special salute, like salute to the piece of shit. I thought that was funny, and they saw a fingerprint of his, and that's the next guy they're looking for. They're looking for Tuco, and he makes them all chant, yeah, that they're gonna find him, and yeah, they're gonna find him. And then we find out he's gonna take some time off. Hank's gonna take some personal time, and I think he talked to Gomez, and he's like, why? And Hank tells Gomez that Walter went missing. They can't find him anywhere, so he's gonna look for Walter, which we know where he is. Then Skyler and Walter Jr. and Hank, he arrives, and he talks to a detective. No, yeah. He's gonna look for Walter, and she's giving him information how he's his height, his weights, what he's been doing, like how she was in the tub and then he took off and his phone rang. Talk about how his credit card, how his credit cards haven't been used yet, and trying to think what else she said. That he has cancer. She gives him a picture too, and that was kind of the gist of it. And then the person's like, I'll do what I can with this and let you know. And Hank goes out the side with the detective, and he talks about how he looked up this phone that call that he was supposedly had, and he said it didn't come up in the record books, because he has two phones. I think I did know that. And then we see Walter and Jesse wake up. I think they were in the trunk of Jesse's car, and Walter has like a hallucination of Skylar saying, "I understand," but it ends up being too cold. He forces them out of the car, tells them to get down on the ground, forces them up, and puts them. They were in like a deserted shack. Um, I think it was. I think it looked like that. That's where he stays on the casual times. Um, then they do this montage of Skylar and Marie asking around town where Walter is and putting posters up of his face. The kind of occasional, have you seen this man? All that stuff. And Walter Jr. is the one making them. Imagine how hard it is for Walter Jr. that he can't even find his own father. And Skylar is upset, and Marie's like, he'll turn up, but Walter doesn't seem like the kind of man that would kill someone. And she goes to talk about the tiara, but Skylar's like, not right now. Not right now. So I guess they're still, I think they're only coming together right now because of this goal. Maybe because of Walter's disappearance. And then Walter and Jesse go into the shack, are in the shack now. And Tuco's in there with them, and they have this old guy. Let me see if I can look up his name. I think they just said his. I think he called him Ditto, which means daddy. I think in Mexican. I'm just looking up his name real quick. Just let me see if I can find this guy's name. Yeah, it doesn't say his name. It doesn't say his name. Anyhow, though, he's just a mute, though. He's in a wheelchair. He's on oxygen now. And Tuco's like, I killed my associates because I had to do so because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. But he said he didn't kill Gusco or Gus. I forget his name. Let me see if it has his name. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say his name, but they try to. He tells them to empty his pockets. They do so, and we find out that I think they think that Gusco too ratted on him. But we find out that he actually didn't kill Gusco though. And he says that the police took over the infiltration. He asks if they can trust him and stuff. And he asks them to empty his pockets, and he empties out his wallet, his keys. You know, the wallets, the keys, some meth, and a bunch other stuff. So then he looks in it and finds out Walter's real name and his real life. And he's like, I love doing business with the family man. So he offers, I think that Walter goes with him to Mexico. His buddies are gonna come pick him up. What's in the beginning? That's what Hank said he would be off to. And he's like, and Walter's like, I can't just leave my family behind, because they said that we'll just cook meth all the time. I can't just leave my family behind. I have a wife. I can't, no way. And he's like, oh, you get a new one. But he's like, I'm not just gonna drop my life and go join you. So then Tuco threatens him that if you, because they're gonna come on a train, if you either come on this train, or you will die. I will shoot you. So then they get nervous and they try to offer Tuco some of that meth that they put those boys in, the ricin in, and she's like, what? And he's like, what's in it? And he says, and Jesse says, oh, I forget what he says. Yeah, but I think he said that it was some sort of food he hated. I forget what it was called. And Hank's going around trying to find Walter, Skylar, Marie, and Hank. Skylar and Marie and Hank tell her about that phone call, that how he had that second phone, didn't come up clean in the record books, that he has a second phone, and they're trying to, and Skylar's like, why would he have a second phone? Walter Jr. even went out to put up some more flyers, and we find out that Skylar thinks he's cheating on him, but then they talk about that moment when with Jesse Pinkman, how he would sell him pot, and maybe he's like, maybe he couldn't keep, maybe he kept doing it, and maybe he couldn't keep up with the money. So Hank drives to Jesse's parents' house, and Jesse's mom's out there, and he talks to her, asks her like, and talks about how his brother-in-law is the teacher, and how Walter had always had some sort of faith with Jesse, how he saw something brilliant in him, and he asked he just keeps asking her a bunch of questions like where they is, why are they still talking, and she asked so many questions that they think he's with the police. And well, she figures it out, and he's like, I'm with the DEA. I need to find and she's like, at first gets mad that she's asking him a ton of questions because she thinks Jesse sends up the wrong, but he's like, no, I just want to find my brother-in-law because her wife's having a kid and she's worried sick, and she's like, I'll let you know if I see something, and he walks away, and he asks what type of car Jesse drives. Well, he knows, but I just don't remember. But he asks if he still drives that car, and then Walter and Jesse are still sitting in the same deserted area. They're sitting on the couch, and Walter gets mad at Jesse that he said this product they told him not to say, and he's like, well, why did you take my gun, man? We would be safe. I could have shot him by now. And Walter says, well, I could have shot. Well, I didn't know you would drive up to. You would drive up to him with him in my house. And he was making burritos, and they're trying to figure out a plan. And he's like, well, why don't you hit him over the head with something, and I'll shoot him. And he's like, yeah, what am I gonna hit him over the head with? And he points out a fly swatter. And he's like, we gotta get him to take that poison. And then he tells him to eat. Tuco made burritos, so Tuco takes over Ditto, as that old guy, and Walter puts the poison, inside of Tuco's burrito, and the Ditto sees it, and Tuco keeps trying to eat his burrito, but he keeps dinging his bell, and Walter and Jesse get concerned, and then he's like, what do you want? And he's like, oh, the old guy, I take him in and he wants my food. So then they switch burritos, and Ditto knocks his burrito off the table since it's been switched and it's poisoned, and then eventually Walter and Jesse are still sitting there. Ditto keeps dinging his bell as Tuco's shooting cows and stuff, and he's like, what are you dinging your bell for? And he keeps pointing at Walter, and he keeps pointing at them. He's like, did you do something to him? Did you make him mad or something? So he gets pissed at them, and Walter's like, well, earlier I changed the channel, and I think he liked what was on. And he tries to make that excuse, and he's like, "That's that it?" And it's not it. So Tuco takes out Jesse. He beats the crap out of him to get Walter to tell him what they did. And Walter says, "We tried to poison you because you're a worthless piece of filth, and Walter you deserve to die." And Jesse grabbed a walk while he was getting beat up and hits Tuco over the head with it, and Walter grabs his gun and he was gonna shoot him with it, but then Jesse beat him to the punch, grabbed the gun that was in Tuco's pocket and shot him in the ribs with it, and he falls like in a grave because it was dug, and they run away. They try to drive away, but Tuco has the keys, so then they hide because they see they think that Tuco's family's coming, but it ends up being Hank. And Hank's like, oh, Jesse Pinkman. So then he sees Tuco, and they have like a gun war. They find.
When are we gonna see the house? When I get home.
Sorry, my grandfather had to come check something, but I know right at the end, right when I was about to finish, I'm just editing into 2 videos, but yeah. So Hank and Tuco have a gun war. Eventually, Hank wins when he shoots him in the head, and then Walter sees Hank and they bail, and Hank stands over him, standing tall, and then Walter and that's how the episode ended. I actually really liked this episode. I have a feeling Walter will be back very soon, and I can't wait. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'll be back next week to do another review.